And now it's time for day 7 math fluency, where we are solving the problem 18 divided by 3 using any strategy, and then models and visuals, telling a story, and then answering how we know our answer is correct. So for my use any strategy, since I know I'm going to be doing models over here, I'm going to go ahead and use skip counting for my any strategy. Since I'm doing 18 divided by 3, I know that I can count by threes until I get to 18 and solve it that way. So I'm going to go ahead and write some threes, stopping when I get to 18. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. Again, I'm singing that song in my head. 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18. And I'm sure you're singing the rest of the song in your head now. How many threes did that take? So we're going to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It took us 6 threes to make 18, which means that our answer for this problem is 6. 18 divided by 3 is 6. I'm going to show it using models or visuals. I'm basically going to do it like you saw on the day 7 math page. I'm going to start with 18 items, and then I'm going to put them into groups of 3. So 18 is my total number. And then I'm going to put it into 3 groups. So if I were doing a math mountain, we'd be doing 18 divided by 3. 18 is my total, 3 is my groups. I'm just trying to figure out how many are in each group. So let's thicken up my line a lot. And let's make 18 dots. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. Now that I've made my dots, I'm going to go ahead and put them into 3 groups. I'm going to use my highlighter for that. You'll notice that the way I set them up is I set them up into an array, right? My array is right here because I like to set things up as nicely as I can. So now I'm just going to figure out how many groups I made, and for groups I'm going to be counting the rows. So if I count this row as one group, then I have 1. This is a row, that's 2, and this is a row. Okay, so I've got 18 purple circles, and I divided my 18 purple circles into 3 groups. Each group has the same number of purple circles in it. The question is, how many are in each group? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 purple dots in each group. All right, so that's how I set that up using a model. Now I need to write a story. Writing a story for division is a lot like writing a story for multiplication, because this is an equal groups story. So if you think back to the multiplication story you had to write on day 6, you had to have containers in your story, right? Because equal groups come in containers. They can be packages or boxes or bags, that kind of thing. So what I'm going to do for my story is, the person that I start with is going to have 18 something as a total. But instead of getting more, like in a multiplication story, my person is going to start dividing their things out into 3 separate containers. And then I'll ask how many things were in each container. So here's how I'll start. I'm going to start with Christian, my son, right? Chris has 18, what does he have? 18 games, sure. Now, that's my total number of games, but he has to start dividing them up. So he's going to put them into containers. And this time his containers are going to be boxes. He puts the games into 3 boxes. Piles can also be containers, so I could have said he put them into 3 piles, as long as I'm making groups of something. But I said he put them into 3 boxes. Now my question is, how many games were in each box? Because that's what I'm not sure of. That's the information I'm missing. How many games were in each box? So my story is, Chris has 18 games. He puts the games into 3 boxes. How many games were in each box? And I'm following the format for a division story where I start with the total and then I start putting some away and dividing them up. Right? So on to, how do you know your answer is correct? So I'm going to go up here. I used skip counting and I used a model. That's how I know my answer is correct. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as my response. And make my typing a little bit bigger. I used, sorry about that, skip counting, and I'm going to make a compound sentence here, and I made a model, period. Each time I got the answer right. 6. That is how I know my answer is correct. There we go. And as always, if you have questions, put them into Google Classroom and we can help you out if needed. Hopefully that answers some questions, especially when it comes to the story part, because I know that can be a challenge sometimes. Talk to you later.